The bulk of ExileCon 2023 and all subsequent Path of Exile 2 deep dives focused on the big ticket differences between it and its progenitor, as well as all the shinies that interest potential non-PoE players. However, to existing Path of Exile players who will most likely delve into the world of PoE 2, there's been one absolutely massive feature completely untouched and entirely obscured since the announcement of the split between PoE 1 and PoE 2. It's not what the endgame maps will look like. It's not any future improvements to trade. It's not the possibility or feasibility of an in-game passive skill tree planner like PoB. It's one of the best systems introduced to Rayclast all the way back in Path of Exile 1 patch 2.2, Ascendancy Classes. Path of Exile 2 will have 36 of them, and we have almost no clue what they'll look like, really. Given there's a huge PoE 2 beta beginning in less than 8 months, I'm sure we'll learn about them soon enough. However, I'm here to present everything we've scraped together about PoE 2's Ascendancy classes based on all the information we've learned since the initial announcement in 2019. Let's begin. When Path of Exile 2 was first announced, Grinding Gear Games planned on adding 3 additional Ascendancy classes to almost every core class except the Scion, who they'd not figured out yet. Of course, players were surprised at this. It'd definitely be an ambitious pursuit by Triple G. After all, some of the current Ascendancies in the player's eyes were already not unique enough or not playable enough. How were they going to handle yet another addition to the set of choices one had to make when playing one of the 7 core classes? Well, as GGG plinked away at PoE 2 in the recesses of New Zealand between 2019 and 2023, they obviously realized this as well. They knew adding a new group of Ascendancies to the 7 original PoE classes was not going to work and was truly going to cause a greater headache to everyone involved. Some big developer working on PoE 2, maybe Jonathan, maybe Neon, maybe someone else, likely grabbed a marker, walked on over to the Reasons Path of Exile 2 should be split out from Path of Exile 1 whiteboard and wrote this down. Yes, they probably said, we cannot add a bunch of new Ascendancy classes on top of the existing PoE 1 classes. We could, though, add some new core classes to the game and design Ascendancies that correspond to them. However, that'd be too large an undertaking to implement into PoE 1, especially with Labyrinth and current Ascendancy systems. And thus, another straw was added to the row's back. The 6 brand new core classes and all their Ascendancies would be brought not to PoE 1, but only to PoE 2. That's right, Path of Exile 2 is an entirely separate game, and not only is it adding 6 brand new classes, every single one of the 12 classes will also have a set of 3 Ascendancies attached. That's a whopping 36 Ascendancy classes, with a host of them being brand new and another set likely being revamped. With an influx of brand new classes, some of the existing Ascendancy classes are definitely being swapped around, or I'd guess even dropped entirely. For example, there's no way the Elementalist is staying on the Witch as an Ascendancy. That's going to the brand new Sorceress class. Occultist though? Probably not moving away. Same with the Necromancer. Additionally, where will the Gladiator or Slayer sit in a game that does not just have a duelist, but a duelist and a warrior? It's hard to tell, although I have my guesses. Stay tuned. This is incredibly bold of Triple G, truly. For the longest while, balancing the existing Ascendancies in PoE 1 has been a challenge. Of course, they're one of the most build-defining fun features in the entire game, but they're also one of the most fight-inducing ways to identify the game's health and meta. Just look at PoE.Ninja and Reddit during any league. Path of Exile 2 is going to be even more ambitious in this sense. In a franchise as deep as PoE, essentially doubling the set of base archetypes is wild. Not to mention, players always go and break the game, utilizing these Ascendancies to achieve feats GGG never thought possible. Something they are proud of and they really want us to do. Now, let's briefly take a look at what these Ascendancies might be. All the way back at ExileCon 2019, GGG gave us a glimpse at some of the new Ascendancy classes. It's quite likely they've significantly changed since then. So, while we know most, if not all, the current Ascendancies will make their way into PoE 2, we do not have a great idea of what will arrive that is brand new. Yet, those snippets likely still exist in GGG's design in some way, so why not participate in a bit of speculation or educated guessing? Additionally, I thought it'd be a bit fun to ponder on which Ascendancies might be staying or swapping and which might be going the way of the Val and reworked entirely. Here are my 3 buckets. The vaguely confirmed new Ascendancies are the Beastmaster, probably a Druid Ascendancy. The Survivalist, likely staying as the planned Ranger Ascendancy. The Tactician, also likely staying as a Ranger Ascendancy. The Arcanist, potentially attached now to the Sorceress. The Defiler, probably replacing the Witch's Elementalist Ascendancy. The Reaver, swapping out the Marauder's Juggernaut Ascendancy to the Warrior. The Ancestor, probably switching the Marauder's Berserker Ascendancy to the Warrior. Then, these are the Ascendancies I think might be gone and completely changed for PoE 2. The Gladiator, which will stay on the Duelist. The Assassin, which will swap to the Mercenary. And then, of course, the Ascendant, which will fade from memory as the Scion is no longer a class, at least at PoE 2's initial launch. Rest in peace, my Scion. Then, here's my third pale, Ascendancies which will stay put and see little changes going into PoE 2. The Slayer and Champion on the Duelist. The Saboteur and Trickster on the Shadow. The Chieftain on the Marauder. The Necromancer and Occultist on the Witch. All 3 Ranger Ascendancies, the Deadeye, Raider, and Pathfinder. And finally, all 3 Templar Ascendancies, the Inquisitor, Hierophant, and Guardian. This leaves us with a ton of new class content from my perspective. In numbers, it's 3 Ascendancy classes for the Monk, 2 for the Mercenary, 1 for the Warrior, 1 for the Sorceress, 3 for the Huntress, 2 for the Druid, 2 for the Marauder, 1 for the Duelist, and 1 for the Shadow. That's huge. Really the most exciting class power portion of Path of Exile 2. Well, when can we expect some Path of Exile 2 Ascendancy talk? My guess is around the reveal of the next Path of Exile 1 expansion, PoE 3.23, sometime in late November 2023. GGG has confirmed this will be the next time we hear about PoE 2, and given we've seen the new classes, many new bosses, areas, the skill gem system, and much more, and we know the endgame won't be explored until early next year per Jonathan Rogers, this will be the perfect time and place to explore Path of Exile 2's most exciting Unrevealed feature. Thanks for watching. Let me give a huge shout out to every Exile who supports this channel. The links to either Patreon or YouTube memberships are on the channel's primary page. You can also help the channel grow by giving this video a like, bear form slamming the subscribe button, and turning on the sub notification bell to be alerted about brand new Talkative Tri content. There's a ton more Path of Exile and beyond content already here and on the way.